2024 is going to be an amazing year for movies. We've already released videos on next year's movies such as sci-fi, horror, and superheroes. In this video, we will explore the top 6 monster movies and creature features that will hit theaters in 2024. I won't take a lot of your time and get straight to business. But before we go to our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire 2024. Now, in 2024, brace yourselves for Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. This time, Rebecca Hall reprises her role as Dr. Eileen Andrews, along with the return of Brian Tyree Henry as Bernie Hayes. But we've also got some fresh faces in the mix, including the ever-talented Dan Stevens, best known from Downtown Abbey. Fala Chan, Alex Ferns, and Rachel House complete the star-studded lineup. After their epic showdown in the last film, Kong and Godzilla are back as unlikely allies, and they're not alone. The sequel whisks us away to the Hollow Earth, picking up where the last chapter left off. This time, the colossal duo is gearing up to take on a brand new threat, one that's reared its head from the depths of an unseen world. And here's a bonus for fans of ancient monster lore. The movie promises to dive deeper into their history, so mark calendars for April 12, 2024, when this colossal showdown rocks the big screen. As part of the Monsterverse, this movie guarantees more gigantic monster action to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Who are the monsters? Of course, we have Godzilla and Kong in the mix, and there may be a few titans we have previously seen. However, the teaser gave us a glimpse of the villain, which seems to suggest that Kong will be at the center of the plot. The teaser drops some intriguing hints. We catch a glimpse of a sleek, formidable Kong-like ape perched on a throne who is lurking in the shadows. This suggests that our film's main baddie won't be an evil Kong, but rather an entirely different threat with a score to settle. But this dude could very well be a member of Kong's species. What's really worth noting here is the clue that this villain might have a frightening secret weapon, ready to tilt the scales in the impending showdown. The most intriguing feature is the glowing blue eyes of the shadowy ape, unmistakably reminiscent of Monster vs. Godzilla when it's gearing up to unleash its atomic might. This has led to some wild speculation. Could this be an atomic ape tapping into the same radiation source at the Earth's core just as Godzilla does? The theory holds water, especially considering the setting, below Skull Island. It aligns perfectly with the movie's storyline, hinting at deep dives into Skull Island, the Titan's history, and the spine-tingling prospect that we haven't met the true alpha lurking there. While many believe Godzilla and Kong reign supreme, this new evil king might be patiently waiting, and possibly with a deadly blend of atomic breath, spitting venom, earth-shaking roars, and powerful fists, combining the worst of both worlds in a deadly twist. Alien Romulus, August 16, 2024. The Alien franchise is making a comeback in 2024 with Alien Romulus, which would be the 7th live-action installment. If it's a creature feature we're talking about, I believe the Xenomorphs steal the show. While it stays in the same universe as its predecessors, don't expect to see familiar faces from the earlier films. The movie is directed by Fede Alvarez and stars Isabella Merced and Kaylee Spady. But as for the plot, they're keeping it locked up tight. What we do know is that it's a standalone story about a bunch of young people who crosses paths with xenomorphs in a distant world. Set your calendars for August 16. Disney and 20th Century are gearing up for the big release. Fede Alvarez, a die-hard fan of the franchise, pitched his concept for an Alien sequel to Ridley Scott a while back in 2021. Scott revisited the idea and asked Alvarez if he was still up for the challenge. With Alvarez's genuine passion for the project, you can bet this installment will venture into uncharted territory completely separate from its predecessor storylines. Who are the monsters? The Xenomorph XX-121, often just called the Xenomorph, or affectionately known as the Alien by those who are lucky enough to face the creature and live to tell the tale, is an alien species. They're highly aggressive and all about spreading their kind and wiping out anything that stands in their way. The Xenomorphs are a lot into teamwork, with a queen in charge of breeding various subordinates. What makes them truly deadly are their physical and biological features, like their deadly acidic blood and some seriously scary secondary jaws. But their claim to fame is their gruesome life cycle. They lay their eggs, and from the eggs come out facehuggers, which implant a substance inside living hosts. This substance then transforms into a xenomorph offspring that bursts out of the host's chest in a not-so-friendly manner. A Quiet Place Day 1 2024. In 2024, A Quiet Place Day 1 is set to grace the big screen, which will expand the silent world of this chilling franchise. This time, it takes us back to the very beginning as we witness the initial chaos of the alien invasion. Lupita Nyong'o, the acclaimed Oscar winner for Black Panther, and Joseph Quinn, recognized for his role in Stranger Things, lead the way in this prequel. With A Quiet Place Day 1, the franchise is set to dive deeper into the origins of the alien invasion, delivering a brand new perspective and adding more layers to the story. While A Quiet Place 3 is on the horizon, continuing the Abbott family's journey in 2025, this prequel is set to lay the groundwork and stoke the fires of anticipation for the 2025 sequel.
My family. All right, listen to me. I have to get back to my family.
Who are the monsters? Death angels, often known as the creatures or the listeners by those who've crossed paths with them, are extraterrestrial beings. These unearthly entities made their grand entrance to Earth through what humans can only describe as an invasion within a meteorite and started attacking anything that produced even the faintest sound. As described by the movie director John Krasinski, these creatures hail from a desolate, lightless planet in a galaxy far, far away. On their home turf, they endured brutal conditions and intense gravity, which shaped their evolution in remarkable ways. They ditched sight in favor of relying on echolocation, evolved armor so tough it could make human weaponry look like mere toys, and cranked up their strength for Earth's milder gravity. Their impenetrable armor can shrug off all kinds of human armaments, from small shotguns to explosive missiles, bombs, and even fire. They're so robust that they can demolish steel in just about any solid obstacle. However, this specialization comes at a cost. They are utterly sightless, and their hefty armor and muscles are a poor match for water, rendering them helpless in aquatic environments. Untitled Universal Monsters Film 2024. Radio Silence, or the horror maestros behind the recent Scream installments and the thrilling Ready or Not, would be making a film on the Universal Monsters. No, not just any monsters, but the classic monsters, the iconic figures like Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, and maybe even the creature from the Blue Lagoon that have long haunted our silver screens. It's a treasured legacy of American horror dating back to the 1930s, and Radio Silence, being true blue genre enthusiasts, wouldn't dare mishandle it by delivering a dud like Van Helsing or Dracula Untold, or heaven forbid, a debacle like the 2017 The Mummy reboot. What was Tom Cruise thinking? Anyway, while Universal is playing coy with the monsters they've entrusted to Radio Silence, a few details have started to emerge. The ensemble cast is an intriguing mix of talent. You've got Melissa Barrera, who's been on the brink of stardom, Dan Stevens, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and other noteworthy names. For a possible glimpse into the story, 2 months back, insider sources whispered about a project titled Dracula's Daughter. It's a curious choice, especially if you're familiar with the influence and peculiar charm of the 1936 original. One thing is certain though, this fresh take on the Universal Monsters will generate a lot of anticipation, irrespective of how the movie will be qualitatively, and we're eager to find out which creature from the crypt it'll resurrect. Who are the monsters? Unfortunately, we do not have any specific information in this regard, but you can expect the Universal Monsters from the black and white era. Nosferatu 2024. Filmmaker Robert Eggers is hard at work, but you won't be sinking your teeth into this Nosferatu remake this year. The plan is to unleash this bloodthirsty vampire tale in 2024, with Focus Features taking charge of distribution. As the release deadline looms, Eggers and his team are pulling out all the stops to breathe fresh life into the age-old Count Orlok. Nosferatu isn't a well-kept secret. It's a remake of a classic film that's been around for a little over a century. The original flick took its inspiration directly from Bram Stoker's Dracula, although it played around with the names and places to sidestep copyright issues and cater to a German audience. The cast has some big names. We have Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, Nicholas Hoult as Thomas Hutter, Lily Rose Depp as Ellen Hutter, Aaron Taylor Johnson as Frederick Harding, Emma Corrin as Anna Harding, Willem Dafoe as Professor Albin Eberhard von Franz, and Simon McBurney as Herr Nock. Who are the monsters? Count Orlok from Transylvania is better known to the locals as the Bird of Death. His thirst for life's crimson nectar makes him one of the deadliest vampires ever, and he is believed to be the brainchild of Belial, the lieutenant demon in Satan's dark army. Orlok doesn't cozy up in some bustling vampire coven. Instead, he's got a taste for solitude and lives in a castle amidst the Carpathian Mountains. He is considered by many to be the first ever vampire, but as I already mentioned, he is based on Dracula. Return to Silent Hill 2024. After more than a decade of absence, the Return to Silent Hill film promises to revive the spine-chilling essence of the game series. Our main man, James Sutherland, played by Jeremy Irvin, is at the center of the story. He embarks on a journey guided by a cryptic letter that kindles hope for a long-lost love's reunion. James, however, isn't in for your typical heartwarming reunion. His return takes him into the heart of a sinister and warped Silent Hill, where reality itself is up for grabs. As James ventures deeper into this waking nightmare, he encounters an assortment of grotesque and bizarre entities, some of which might ring a bell if you're a seasoned Silent Hill enthusiast. Others, though, are in for an entirely new, spine-tingling breed. Throughout his ordeal, he grapples with sanity's slippery slope, not quite sure where reality ends and delusional begins. Still, our man James is determined to unlock Silent Hill's puzzles, even if it means clinging to his sanity by a thread. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a first-time visitor, expect a movie filled with goosebumps and dread. Who are the monsters? These grotesque and often nightmarish creatures are almost always hell-bent on ending the protagonist's life, and sometimes they'll even turn on each other. These monsters aren't your garden variety of creatures, they're a product of the human psyche, shaped and manifested by the supernatural forces lurking in Silent Hill. The town serves as a twisted canvas, and your emotions, memories, fears, and traumas paint the pictures. One fascinating aspect is the symbolism woven into these monsters. Since they're born from the minds of key characters, be it the hero, the villain, or others in the story, their nature and appearance are intimately tied to the one experiencing the town's powers. Alright, so these were the top 6 creature features and monster movies that we would get in 2024. However, there is news that we may also get new Cloverfield and Jurassic World sequels. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.